All right, so this panel we're going to talk a bit deeper into the execution of co-sell, which was one of the themes that he saw in some of the slides. And apparently this Gen AI thing is going to be big. I don't know. So we'll see. So why don't we start down the line. Just talk a bit about what you're doing in co-sell. Just level set a bit of, everybody knows what the programs look like. And then we can kind of dive into how Gen AI is actually being used. So maybe Anurag, start with you.
Sure.
And introduce yourself too, just so people know what you're...
So it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Anurag. I represent Cognizant's TMT business. I'm based in Dallas. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Amazing opportunity to learn and also share. So in terms of our approach to leveraging generative AI, we, as a company, we follow a threefold strategy. One is we have deeply embraced the technology that our partners are creating, the platform companies, the hyperscalers are creating, to really drive that employee productivity and to really create our offerings in a very compelling manner. Second, we are using this technology to drive value for the hyperscalers and the platform companies so that they can drink their own champagne and get value out of it. Thirdly, and very importantly, we are, and I think Stephen Boyle also said this just a few minutes back, we are a partner to help them accelerate their top line in terms of really meaningful engagement where we are driving the campaigns collaboratively, aligned to specific industry verticals and building specific industry-specific solutions which are unlocking value in the core processes of the enterprise clients. That's how we look at it.
Great, thank you. Patrick?
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Patrick Duggan. I lead partnerships for Treasure Data, which is a best-of-breed customer data platform, so an ISV. And as we think about partnerships, as we touch SIs, other ISV partners who are best-of-breed in our space, as well as the hyperscalers and agencies even, because we focus a lot on B2C, it's really about, as Anurag said, drinking our own champagne as we think about our own AI development within the platform that we build. So how we utilize that to attack enterprise customers, but also think about how we build solutions that resonate with the customers that we're even engaging with. And it's really about a lot of what we just heard before, which is foundationally built where we're using the technologies. For us, for example, we're using Bedrock to build a lot of our AI capabilities. And the engagement in that and the scale of that really begins to show the influx. The other part of that for us is just education, right? There's a lot of us in this room who are constantly thinking about Gen AI and what it means. When I'm speaking to my sales force, they're still thinking about it in the sense of ChatGPT and other places where people have evolved significantly. And those are powerful tools on individual seller levels, but really to keep it in your core and be enabled in terms of what that means as the industry is thinking about it as a whole has been a huge unlock for us. We really think about it, again, and people have talked about this a lot, not as a job replacement, but as an efficiency driver. We want it to drive efficiencies and do the things that for us as partner leaders we do best, right? Which is engaging with communities like this, sprinkling the magic dust that when we get together, amazing things happen, creating more time for that to occur.
Okay. Pierre, can you talk about your champagne?
So I'm Pierre Joubert, and I actually want to upstage Stephen in one respect. And that is that this was actually Building 13 during Silicon Graphics days. Yeah. And I actually worked in this building.
Whoa.
So I'm with Hitachi Vantara, and for those of you that doesn't know, we provide high-end storage solutions. And there's three aspects that really drives our value proposition, which relates to Gen AI eventually, and that is resilience, efficiency, and sustainability. So in terms of efficiency, we have a customer by the name of T-Systems, been a customer for 20 years, and they will vouch to the fact that in that 20 years, we haven't lost one single bit of their data. And data is a foundation for any AI solution. Secondly, in terms of efficiency, if you basically run on our platform, we're willing to offer you 4-to-1 compression ratio on any of your data. No questions asked, no SLA, we will guarantee that written. And then thirdly, if you look at the Energy Star solutions, we are basically in the top 3 positions in terms of data storage. So that's just a little bit of the background of where we're coming from. If we talk about AI solutions in particular, the reason that we are basically engaging with all of our partners, and specifically the SI partners, is the likes of Cognizant. They are 340,000 people. The back of the room, we have TCS. They are 600,000 people. We as a company, a global company, is 270,000. Hitachi Vantara is about 10,000 of that. So I need partners to actually help drive the solution out to the market, to our customers. It's coming to us with specific use cases that they need to solve. So that's basically where we are playing. Thanks.
Thank you. Dai.
Hey everybody, so I'm Dai, and I'm the global business leader for Cloud Marketplace and ISV go-to-market initiatives. And to your question about co-sell, if we think about cloud go-to-market, which is how do our partners kind of co-sell with us, working, driving business outcomes for customers, marketplace has become synonymous with cloud go-to-market. Historically, it's been this sort of separate channel on the side, but it's become the de facto route to market for us to work with our ecosystem partners. Now, historically, it's been very ISV focused, so it's a very product and SKU focus in terms of what's listed on marketplace. But over the last couple of years, we've expanded in terms of the type of solutions that are listed on marketplace. So Palab mentioned data providers, AI foundational partners, et cetera. But we've also brought in our traditional channel partners, and then also the system integrators are also involved as well, because it's all about how do we leverage sort of a platform to drive business outcomes, and it'd be a combination of not only bringing buyers and sellers together, but also the partners together to drive business outcomes as well. Now, in terms of Gen AI, I mean, obviously there's a platform when we think about commerce and monetization. So all the innovation that you drive leveraging our platform, whether it's foundational models, whether it's agents or other sort of AI-powered solutions, marketplace becomes the platform to monetize, right? So it becomes the single place to search, discover, try, buy, and deploy these solutions. And we've been expanding our selection and scale considerably. And then what we're also looking to do now is how do we incorporate Gen AI into the marketplace platform in general? Because folks may know what has driven a lot of the marketplace growth is more what we call private offers, which is taking that direct sales motion and bringing it online where you can negotiate pricing and custom terms. But unfortunately, a lot of what happens is the co-selling is happening offline. And it's really that last step that's happening, the private offer, publish and accept, is happening on marketplace and online. So what we're trying to do is how do we enable that full experience, not only in the search and discover and further upstream, but in other sort of tech silos that may happen, like whether it's like co-sell, deal registration, account mapping, all these other tools that may sit in the ecosystem. How do we integrate and share data and enable sort of a very frictionless experience? So those are the type of things that we're working on.
It's almost like you saw my questions. So, so coming back to maybe Anurag with you, Cognizant does a lot of co-sell with a number of different partners. What are perhaps some examples of how has that changed, and what are some examples of industry specific examples of how that co-sell motion has changed between ISVs and GSIs in general?
Yeah. So I'll give you an industry-specific example and also a horizontal example, because there are a ton of opportunities which we have been able to already successfully unlock using a horizontal example. A classical one is the customer support and customer success. Working with a hyperscaler, we were able to, and this all has happened because of the advancement in generative AI. That is the real, needle-moving technology which is driving, amplifying the human potential in this whole boring space of customer success, customer support. So we have been able to make a clear movement of changing the conversion ratio from 27% 2 years back to 37% as of end of last year. So just in a year, we were able to drive 10% improvement using the power of generative AI. And that led to increase in the top line to the tune of $4.7 billion for this company. That's a needle-moving change. I'll give you another example, which is industry-specific. One of my favorite verticals, other than healthcare, is education, because these are two verticals which truly deserve to be disrupted, and innovation has to come to scale. And generative AI is exactly doing that. So working with a learning company, we were able to create a math tutor early in the year, which made the learning for the students as well as the teachers, the way teachers educate the students, very significantly different, and it was able to make a needle-moving change in terms of the top line of this company. Not only that, we were able to create a new product using generative AI, but the entire experience of the learners, the way they take tests, the quizzes, the way generative AI summarizes, hundreds of pages of content into simplified versions where people can actually learn, the students can actually learn. And we're not talking about just the young learners. We are also talking about the adult learners, right? Where sometimes for the more senior adult learners, reskilling is critical, but generative AI is making the learning consumption much more effective for the adult learners. So I think these are a couple of examples that I would like to talk about.
Great. Dai, you and Paula both talked about the industry value networks that Google has built. Talk a bit about the process. How does that relationship between all these different players work, and where does Gen AI play into that as making that collaboration better, perhaps?
Yeah, so the way I think about it is it all starts together with solution development and differentiated better together story. And I think Gen AI enables the SI, the content provider, the ISV, and the data provider, and the model provider all to sort of collaborate together. And I think a lot of the industry value networks also have sort of core foundational models, or it could be vertical specific models that are sort of powering that. I think that's one piece. Now, to be clear, right now, a lot of this is happening, again, offline outside of Marketplace. But what I envision that I want Marketplace to be, whether it be through APIs, through other sort of break down some of these silos, because what we want to do is we want to enable a lot of that collaboration to bring online. And that requires more integration, more sharing of data across the different silos. So one example of this is I have this vision of enabling Marketplace anywhere through APIs. So think of it as one thing we're rolling out right now is something called a private offer API, which is basically if you're in, say, deal registration or CRM platform, you've actually qualified a co-sell opportunity, you can initiate a private offer creation in context, okay? Same thing with working with our sort of channel partners who want to surface a search or catalog API where they can surface Marketplace SKUs within their storefronts as well. So I think the way I think about it is how do we break down some of the technology silos and data silos and bring a lot of the collaboration together.
Awesome. Maybe Patrick, switching to you a little bit. We've talked a lot about how these have been built. Do you have any examples from Treasure Data around how go-to-market has changed and how acceleration of time to market has been impacted?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question. As you think about someone like us who is not a Salesforce or Adobe or ServiceNow, right? Yet. Appreciate that. But they're starting just from a resource war with a massive head start, right? And that's something that we constantly have to think about to be creative, even with our partners, with Microsoft, with Google, with Amazon, who are providing massive resources to try to help us be strategic. Those same resources exist as well. We have a great partnership with Cognizant, and we've had a lot of success, but they're not going away from Salesforce and Adobe anytime soon. So what it's forced us to do is really be creative and guerrilla in our tactics of how we think about AI and how we leverage AI to differentiate ourselves and almost be controversial in a sense to really disrupt. And we felt a lot of momentum in that, pre-2022, when every ISV was going IPO and the world is great and money was left and right, those times have changed. And the terms profitability and scalability and reasonable growth are what have changed the game and have forced us to do that. And so as we think about entertaining customers or clients, it's really about creating that super personalized story. And we're using every tool, especially AI, to do so. But what we expect to see is as AI matures and as AI continues to get stronger, our competition's not going to look away from it. It's not going to be an advantage for us per se, except in the way that we personalize it in that experience to pitch. And co-sell is a huge part of that, right? As we have success in the travel and hospitality industry, how we replicate that story to prospects the way that our customers are engaging with it, massively important. And the ability to quickly get to that story is what AI is really powering for us to make that super impactful.
Great. Pierre, you talked a bit about the solutions from Hitachi and kind of the reliability and so on. You guys have something called private AI. We haven't talked a lot about that specifically here. Talk a bit about what that is, and how does that fit into, again, a differentiation from your point of view with kind of a co-sell motion, innovation motion?
Yeah, so we have an interesting situation, especially in the regulated industries, banking, healthcare, where we have had customers, we have customers that basically are interested in specific use cases that they would like to implement. The challenge, though, is they don't want to take that data off their premise, so to speak. So basically what we're offering to them via some of our systems integrators is the ability to actually create a sandbox where they can basically either as a AI appliance literally put this on their premise, or they can do it in a private cloud setting where they can then basically spin up an AI solution that they can play around with and be safeguarded in terms of not losing any of that data. And even if they ingest data from outside, that data is not shared to the rest of the internet or to the rest of the world. So we've been seeing a lot of success in that, and we're actually busy rolling out a program where we will make that available to all of our customers through our GSIs. Now, what is also interesting related to that is, if you look at Hitachi as a company as a whole, we basically are playing, in a number of spaces. So, for example, we have Hitachi Energy, we have Hitachi Rail, all of these different entities that are basically experts in their specific fields. So the beauty of that is we can actually bring some of the GenAI solutions that we have built internally to Hitachi to our customers outside. And one example that I can give to you is with Penske, for example. We have an AI solution that literally will inform the driver to bring his truck in because we know that the specific part is going to fail within the next couple of hours. And if you think about it, we actually now inform the workshop to buy and order the part and have the right mechanic available to actually do that repair. So that's an example of how we've translated our automotive sector into working with our GSIs and co-selling that solution.
Got it. I'm going to open this one to any of you who want to answer, but one of the challenges in the co-sell motion are the tools, right? And everybody's got their silos, their set of different tools, potentially some policies around data sharing and so on. Have any of you found some systems or tools that have helped that process improve? And would you share that with, it is on video, but would you share that with this group?
Well, I can tell you that. So we have one of the subsidiaries is Global Logic. They provide a whole set of tools. We also have developed our own set of tools with Hitachi America, and that's basically the core of this private AI that we're actually launching out there. So if you look at it, that tool set has been built over nearly a decade with all of them.
That's a proprietary tool. It's proprietary and internal?
It is proprietary, but we're making it available to our SIs to actually take it out to our customers.
Okay. Anurag?
So an example of a tool which helps integrate a lot of technology across the AI and generative AI that is being made available by the hyperscalers would be a Cognizant flow source. A big part of Cognizant business is what we do for large enterprises in terms of optimizing their entire end-to-end software development lifecycle. So what this tool does Cognizant Flow Source is right from the definition of epics, the stories, all the way to optimizing the software development lifecycle to creating the test data and the regression testing. The entire end-to-end process gets consumed by this tool. As a result of it, we are seeing significant amount of productivity improvement that we are able to deliver to our enterprise clients, leveraging the technology arbitrage, which is the power of generative AI. Over 2 million lines of code, and there's a public statement where our CEO has given that over 2 million lines of code was tech generated, right? And that's all possible because of the seamless experience that this tool is able to provide to our enterprise clients. So we are making it available to our customers. We are making it available to our partners as well.
Okay.
I'd give a quick plug for us. Account mapping is a massive part of what we do as an ISV. And so, Crossbeam, for better or worse, and Reveal were two platforms that were being used a lot in the ISV space. They've thankfully come together to try to help support. And while it's not perfect, there's a lot of AI tools within that that really give us a sense of what opportunity really relies between a partner. For us, there's 13 to 30 different partners, ISVs, large companies who touch at some point. And so one partner, whether SI or technology partner, is never going to win us the deal. So figuring out the right touch points and getting those engagements has made a massive impact on that. And for us, where we've spoken to large GSIs and they've been like, yeah, we don't play that way. Here's an Excel or a Google Doc. We've been able to move past that. And it's driven a significant amount of efficiency for someone like us working with a large partner like that.
I'm good. Dai, the last word.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if you look at this as like sort of a solution category, I think there's been quite a bit of innovation in the last couple of years. You think of co-sell enablement and automation. And within our own ecosystem, folks are familiar with Google. They like to build everything internally. And I think tends to be a few things that will likely be in-house, like whether it's our own sort of CRM and maybe our propensity to buy models. But if you look at the different tools out there, we are embracing whether it be PartnerTap or Crossbeam or Workspan or Tackle and these other solution spaces. I think there's going to be one of these best of breed across these different areas. And I think modular, sort of open integration, I think there's an opportunity for us to work with a broad set of partners.
Terrific. Well, thank you. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you, Pari and the Zinnov team for having us here. Appreciate it. And a great round of applause for the speakers here.